Hi everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Alright, so I got a very special request from the woman who just has my heart all the time. My daughter, the gorgeous one behind the camera. She says, hey mom, you know what? You haven't made brownies in a long time. As a matter of fact, could you make me my slutty brownies? And I'm like, sure honey, no problem, I can do that. But I remember the first time she asked me to make slutty brownies. I said, excuse me? What kind of brownies? Did you say slutty? I just could not stop laughing. I'm like, wow, that's actually a name of a brownie? So yes, it is, and I just laughed so hard. So anyway, she asked me if I could make the slutty brownies for her. So you know what? That's what we're gonna do today. Slutty Brownie Day. I still laugh at that name, but with a little extra added something to it after it's finished, because you know you just can't get enough chocolate. This is something that I did for her once before. So let's get ready, and it's Sinful Pleasure Day. Be right back. All right, I'm back. So, slutty brownies. So basically what slutty brownies entails is chocolate cookie dough, Oreo cookies, and brownie mix. I'm gonna do everything from scratch, and I'm gonna lay it in a 8x8 small pan because I'm not making a great portion. So the first thing I'm gonna make is the chocolate cookie dough. Basic recipe you can find on the back of chocolate chips. Oh, as a matter of fact, I love using these. You can find the recipe on the back, very basic, nothing secret about it. All right, now I'm gonna do this first. Now it's 2 1/4 cup of flour. I have 1 cup of flour already in here, but I would like to show you the proper way to scoop flour in your measuring cup, because you don't want to pack it in, because you don't want to have too much flour. So the best way to do it is to scoop the flour in the measuring cup. And after you scoop it in to the top of the measuring cup, always level it off. So here we go. So like I said, I already have 1 cup in here already. So that makes 2 cups. And 2 1/4 cup of flour. Again, scoop in, level off, put in. Very easy. Okay. And 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So let's whisk this together. Set aside. Okay, now we're gonna do the wet ingredients. This is the dry, now we're gonna do the wet. Let's push this aside so I can have some room here. All right, in my bowl here, I have 2 sticks of unsalted butter, room temperature. As I've said in my previous videos, wet and cold ingredients should always be room temperature when you're making things from scratch. 2 sticks of unsalted butter, room temperature. 3/4 cup of white sugar and 3/4 cup of brown sugar. That's what I have in here. All right, so now I'm going to mix it. We use my hand mixer today. I'm armed. So mix that up until it's creamy. After it's mixed creamy, we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Let's get this all nice and creamy. Okay, let me get a spoon. Now I'm going to add the eggs, 1 at a time. And the eggs are also room temperature. And let's get the other egg. And have your mixer on low. It sounds like it's high, but this is really on the first level. Right now it's forming into very nice creamy mixture. And then after this, about 2 teaspoons of vanilla, pure vanilla extract. That's about 2 teaspoons. I always eyeball, you guys know by now. All right. Mix this nice. And then we're going to add the dry ingredients gradually. All right, we have to do this gradually. That way the flour does not fly all over the counter. Believe me, I've had flour baths plenty of times. All right, basic chocolate chip cookie recipe. And there's a little bit more. I think I'll do that in about 3 additions. I love chocolate chip cookies. Please, I love chocolate anything. I tell you, if chocolate chips came out of a shower, I would live in there. All right, this is the last addition. And then I'm going to stir in the chocolate chips. Okay, now the batter is really getting thicker the way it's supposed to be. All right, that's perfect. Trying to get some of it off the blade. Yum. All right, I need my spatula. I should have it with me. Of course I don't. Back. Stir in chocolate chips. Now I use 2 types of chocolate chips. Semi-sweet and milk chocolate. 2 cups. 1 cup of semi-sweet and 1 cup of milk chocolate. And add that to the dough. And just stir. Boy, this smells so good. I love chocolate chip cookies. I'm not a huge brownie eater, but I do like chocolate chip cookies. All right, perfect. Now, let's put this aside. What you're gonna do, 8 by 8 pan. Now, you have to line it with foil. And once you do that, let the foil hang on the sides here. That way when everything is complete, it's easy to lift right out of the pan. So I put foil, and I also put a piece of parchment paper at the bottom, just to ensure that the cookie dough does not stick to the foil once everything is finished. Now this is a lot of cookie dough. We're not using the whole thing. I'm gonna use half this cookie dough in the bottom of this pan, and the rest, I'm gonna make chocolate chip cookies. So let's just use half the dough. And we're gonna press down at the bottom of the baking pan. Woo! I'm really getting in here. Oh, I'm gonna have sticky hands, but that's okay. Let's get the rest of this dough in here. You know, when you cook, there's really no such thing as being totally neat. All right. Oh, it's really sticking in here. It's really sticking to my fingers. Let me use a spoon. I think that's, okay, here we go. Spreading it nicely. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the Oreos right on top. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, all right, so now I have this on the bottom. Now it's time to lay the Oreos in the cookie dough. Now, we're using thin Oreos. You can use the regular Oreos, but we want to use the thin ones because you want more chocolate than cream. I'm telling you, you can't get enough chocolate. So put the Oreo cookies on top of the chocolate chip cookie dough. Now, there's not a certain amount that you have to put. You just fill up the pan to whatever size pan that you are using, as long as the dough is completely covered with Oreos. All right, so I'm gonna break this one in half just to get in the corners here. Yeah, see? And that's how it should look. Once that's done, just push it on the side. All right, so now I have all the Oreo cookies on top of the chocolate chip cookie dough. Now I have a lot of cookie dough left, so like I said before, I'm not wasting it. I'm just gonna make a batch of chocolate chip cookies using the scoop, so all the cookies can be basically even. So you have extra cookies on the side. So I'm gonna put these on my cookie sheet. Put this over here. We'll put these on the cookie sheet, pop them in the oven at 350 degrees for a few minutes. But in the meantime, I will be back to do the brownie mix batter. Be right back. Okay, so now we're gonna make the brownie mix. First thing you have to do is put in a saucepan 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter, melted. And while that is melting, over medium-high heat, after it's melted, I'm going to stir in sugar and the cocoa powder. And the sugar will be 1 1/4 cup of sugar and 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. And this is the cocoa powder that I use. It's a good brand. So as this is melting, I'm gonna get my whisk, help it along. It's starting to melt very nicely now. Over medium heat. In this case, you really don't need to have the unsalted butter at room temperature because we're melting it first before we make the batter. All right, now that's all melted. So now I'm going to add the sugar, 1 1/4 cup, turn it down a little bit, 1 1/4 cup of sugar. One 1/4 cup of sugar. And now I'm going to stir this until it's all blended in. Now I'm going to add the cocoa powder. And the cocoa powder is 3/4 cup. Okay, so it's got to make sure it's all blended in before I remove it from the heat. Chocolate goodness. Oh, nice and creamy. Looks wonderful. Look at that. Yeah, baby. It's going to be some good old Slutty Brownies. Oh my gosh, I just can't with that name. Okay, it's mixed in nicely and smooth. So I'm going to shut the heat off. I'm going to come over here. And then I'm going to add the salt, vanilla, and eggs. And whisk as I add them. Salt. Vanilla. About 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Oh, the salt, by the way, is 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and now I'm going to add 2 eggs and whisk vigorously as I crack them in. We don't want the eggs to cook in this hot chocolate, so you have to really, really mix it fast. Otherwise, you're going to have scrambled eggs in here, and that's not the way it's supposed to go. Let's put on another egg. and whisk vigorously until it's all mixed in. Perfect. And I'm gonna tell you guys, this chocolate, I'm just salivating, my mouth is watering. I love the way the chocolate smells. All right, now we're gonna add the flour and continue to mix. And then I'm gonna combine it with the other. All right, now let's add the flour. All right, so now, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's just chocolate. So now I'm gonna add a half a cup of flour in the chocolate mixture. All right, now just scoop it in, level it off, and there we go. Oops, a little bit more, that's not quite a half. Okay, here we go. Pour it in here, and then mix some more. Brownies, you don't take much flour. Now, as long as I can stir it and don't have flour flying in my face. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sweating over this recipe. Woo! I work hard here, working hard for my baby. Okay, so now I got flour on me. That's hilarious, but no problem. So they can really think I'm working hard at baking here. This was so easy to do. All right, now that I mixed the flour in the pot, I'm gonna pour it over the chocolate chip cookie dough and the Oreos. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's get a nice, even layer, because we want to cover the entire top of the cookies. Remember, I'm using a 8x8 pan because we want to have nice taste. Okay, now let's smooth this in. And then we're going to bake at 350 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes. I just want to get every nook and cranny here. Okay, just want to make sure everything is covered. Smooth it all around. There you have it. Okay, so like I said before, 350 degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. And then when it's done, I'm gonna make a covering, another covering of chocolate ganache and crunched up chocolate chip cookies that I have baking in the oven from the leftover cookie dough. Extra chocolate for some Slutty Brownies. Be right back. Chocolate heaven. All right, so I have my brownies out of the oven, the Slutty Brownies. I'm gonna come over here and make the chocolate ganache to pour over this luscious chocolate delight. Oh, chocolate heaven. All right, so I have my Slutty Brownies out of the oven. Now I'm gonna come over to the stove and make a chocolate ganache to pour all over this chocolate luscious goodness. Okay, so chocolate ganache is very simple. This is the way I do it, but basically it's the same way. I have 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips in a saucepan, medium heat. Then I'm going to pour about 1.5 tablespoons of fresh brewed coffee. Coffee and chocolate, as I always say, mixes so nice together. It just brings out the flavor of chocolate. And then I'm gonna pour about 1/3 cup of heavy cream, not half and half, heavy cream in the pan and just constantly stir. It's melting already. Stir until the chocolate is fully melted. And nice and smooth. Now you can also pour a little vanilla extract in it which I'm about to do, but just a little, because I like to have the coffee flavor also. About a half a teaspoon is fine. And stir until nice, smooth, and creamy. And that's chocolate ganache. That's really all there is to it. And it tastes so beautiful on top of cakes, cupcakes, and now on top of Slutty Brownies. All right, let's go over and pour this on. It's nice and smooth, just the way it's supposed to be. Perfect. Okay. All right, let's get this ganache poured over the brownies because I don't want it to harden. I just want to have that silky consistency so I can spread it. All right, here we go. Look at that shine. Isn't that a beauty? Isn't that a beaut? Nice. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. You know what? I know I'm just gonna have to have some of this myself because it just smells way too good, and I'm a chocoholic. Now, this is also the last thing I do when I make the Slutty Brownies. You can do it this way, or you don't have to do it this way. You can just do it the traditional way. But this is the way I do it, and this is the way my babe loves it. Now, what I'm sprinkling here is the leftover chocolate chips cookies that I made. Check it out. I have cookies left over. The batter, I made more cookies, and I'm crumbled up some chocolate chip cookies to pour over the Slutty Brownies. Okay, talk about sinful. This is definitely sinful. Her friends are coming over later. I think they're gonna love it. Oh, look at that. Look at that beauty. Delish. I'm gonna let it cool down a little longer, and then I'm gonna cut a piece. Be right back. All right, I just wanted to show you, I have everything all set, but I just wanted to show you how easy, the reason for using the foil, it just pops right out, clean. The pan is not too bad. It just makes things so much easier by using the foil, and it just pulls right out. I laid it right on the plate. Perfect. So here we have our Slutty Brownie. But you know, I had to add some whipped cream and strawberry for a beautiful, sexy dessert. Looks so delicious. And now, of course, let's give it a try. I have brownie, I have chocolate chip. Add a little bit of the whipped cream. Wow, oh my gosh. That is so delicious. I am in, oh my God, I am really in heaven right now. Sweet and chocolate, just chocolate on top of chocolate. You know what? I should have made this a long time ago instead of procrastinating. I'm in heaven right now. I'm gonna finish this. My daughter can have the rest with her friends, but I'm gonna finish mine. I won't even eat dinner. Thanks for joining me, and have some Slutty Brownies.